I'm Amira and I'm 13.
I'm Kira and I'm 13.
I'm Aaron and I'm 13.
I'm Renee and I'm 14.
I'm Anna and I'm 13.
I'm Soraya and I'm 14.
I'm Laurie and I'm not 13 or 14. I'm not even 13 and 14 together. You are the first real live readers I've talked to about this book. Like the marketing people have read it, and the librarians have read it, and the teachers have read it, and they all have their opinions. And no offense, but I really don't care about them. Because I didn't write the book for them, I wrote it for you. So whatever you say, just remember, don't make me cry. What did you think? Now let me be more specific. What was unexpected for you about the book? Yeah.
Well, I thought it was crazy when she was when Leah was gonna go away with the tattoo guy.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that would like ruin the book, but then she didn't, and I was like,
Ah. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I was just surprised at how dark it seemed at some points. Like how you could get into the shoes of Leah and how she would feel if this was really happening to someone.
Right. What else sticks out in your mind about the book? What are the things that you remember from it?
I really liked how you wrote how you crossed things out, and I thought that it showed like your sense of humor and it just sort of turned a little. So.
Okay, that's interesting. That's the narrative device that I used was what they call a strike-through. And a lot of the older adults who read the book in manuscript called me up. Like I had some of my friends and other people read it, and they said, "Why are you sending me the copy that has all your mistakes in it?" Because they thought the strike-through was stuff that I was gonna. But obviously, you guys you got it. That's good.
I also caught that, and then I also saw that in parentheses you had the number of calories.
Right.
At first I didn't get that, but then it made sense.
Yeah.
It's definitely not kind of the traditional book that you read, when you're a little kid, because it's got a little bit of those weird things. But that's one of the reasons that I like writing for teenagers, because you guys are so open-minded about art. You're open-minded about music and dress and dance and literature and movies, that I think it gives authors like me permission to experiment, with things like white space and strike-throughs and just throwing all kinds of stuff in there. So that's good. Yes?
yeah. Speaking of like the pages that didn't say anything or the must not eat ones.
Right.
What made you want to do those? I mean, it was.
Well, the challenge in this book for me, it's really the challenge of all of my books, but because this character is, I think, the most desperate of any character I've ever written about, because she really is right on that edge between life and death. And the challenge is I'm writing it from her point of view. So I have to find ways to let the reader know how desperate this child is and how close she is to death without her being willing to acknowledge that. Because if she knew, oh, I'm about to die, she would, and most people would go, oh, maybe I should get some help, but she's not ready there. And the book takes us through that journey as she's approaching a new level of self-awareness. So that's why, for example, writing Must Not Eat, however many times I wrote that, my poor editor, that was, a way I thought of trying to get across to you, the reader, these are the only thoughts in her head right now, and that's, it covers a span of time. And with the blank pages, that's when the really serious, scary thing happens, and you have this, like, I wanted, in my head, it was kind of like the moment in the movies, where the violins are sawing away madly, and the tension's like, and then you turn the page and it's like, because there's nothing there. And I wanted that pause, because there was that, think about the scene, there's Leah in the bathroom covered with blood, and her little sister opens the door. The little sister who is really the only person she connects to in her life and loves, really loves. And so, and it was, I thought, the most horrifying moment in the book. And so I wanted my readers to do what I did when I was writing it, when I saw that scene in my head, was go, oh! And that's what the blank pages make you do. And then you go back into the action of the scene. So I'm so glad that worked. What did you think of Elijah, the guy?
Well, I had a different idea of what was going to happen
Yeah.
when I first heard about him.
Yeah.
But when I found out that he like took her money and ran away,
Yep.
it just surprised me a lot.
I don't know if you picked up on it, but he told her. He told her that. He told her when they first met, when they were at the diner. Do you remember what he said?
I don't remember exactly, but I remember when she had woken up, he had written her a note saying, "Don't hate me for taking your money."
Right.
But
No, like you can hate me for taking your money, but don't hate me for running away or something like that.
Don't hate me for forcing you to connect with
Yeah.
your parents again. In the early scene in the diner, he steals the tip money from the table
Yeah.
next to them, and he says, "I'm not a reliable person. I'll steal anything," you know. So he like tells her flat out, "I'm a thief. You can't trust me." And most people, I think, when we hear that, we're like, "Ah, you're silly," you know, because he's kind of a kind-hearted guy. But no, he really is a thief. She really can't trust him. What were you feeling about the parents as you read through the book?
At first, I thought that the dad was pretty cool, but then later on in the book, after hearing that he was sort of denying that Leah was sinking back into her old habits and the parents' discussion about that, I actually think I liked her mom a lot better because she sort of knew what was going on and she wasn't ignorant to Leah's lies and everything.
Right.
it kind of reminded me of my parents because, like, my dad is, like, he's really cool, but then sometimes he can, like, buckle down and be a really strict dad. And then my mom, like, she just does everything she possibly can to like, try to be there for me even when I don't need it. And it just shows that they're really there for you, and it made me think about how much I appreciate my parents and what they do.
That's our crazy Spanish teacher.
I think every high school has a crazy Spanish teacher.
Yeah.
I know mine.
Oh yeah. I don't know what it is. Yes.
Well, I think the way you wrote the book, it was really clear the different personalities of the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mom was the strict one and the one that knew what to do and knew how to do it and knew how to get things done, but wasn't really sensitive to people.
Right.
And the dad was kind of imagining that the daughter was still this little girl that was the same little child that he like had when she was a baby.
Right.
And Jennifer, who was it Jennifer?
Jennifer's stepmom.
Yeah. Okay. She wasn't really her parent, but she was her stepmom, so she was technically kind of her parent.
Right.
And her personality was trying to protect Emma, even if it meant protecting her from Leah.
Right.
So she was kind of like the really overprotective mother,
Right.
but not really overprotective.
I thought that it was amazing how when Leah was describing Jennifer and how she was saying that she wanted Emma to be perfect so she could be the perfect mom.
Right.
And I thought it was really cool how she got that analytical, but she couldn't assess herself. And I thought
Right.
that was...
I think that's one of the journeys of adolescence. I mean, adolescence is hard. I mean, just flat, even if your family's in a good place and everyone's real supportive, it is flat out hard. And a lot of that has to do with our culture, you know, because our culture is not designed to help adolescents get through those years with grace and fun. Frankly, it's amazing that any of you guys survive at all. You have my total respect, because it sucks most of the time. But I think that, and one of the things that's interesting when you're going through your teen years is, first of all, you're starting to open your eyes up and go, ooh, world is much more complicated and bigger and more exciting than I knew when I was 8 years old. And then you can almost sort of see, like, when you see your friends messing up, you can probably give really good advice. But it takes you a little bit longer till you can begin to self-assess and see what are your strengths and weaknesses. And when you're messing up, it takes a little bit longer to develop that discipline and go, oh, shucks, I need some advice. So I think that's kind of where Leah is. I think in some ways, in my mind, when I was writing it at least, she felt she felt like an immature 18-year-old.